park the car. Would you let go of my wheel?
Hey, come on! Hey, watch it!
Welcome to episode 5 in the Half-Life 2 No Jump series. I'm your host, Coder. Last we left off, we were still driving on the open road. I get to a lighthouse where I have to take out some enemies and a ship. I get to a small gap I can simply sprint across with a running start. There's a small ledge. I use the gravity gun to grab a tire, which I can then use as a platform. I engage in a boss fight with a large antlion. This fight is pretty easy, just kite away while throwing shit at it. Some alien runs out and gives me a pteropod, which allows me to become Lord of the Antlions. While others see these things as nasty creatures, I see them as objects that can be walked on. From this point onward, we're trying to break into Nova Prospect, a large prison. There's going to be a lot of combat moving forward, so I'll try to spare you from that by cutting most of it. After blasting through hordes of guards, I get to a gap on this mountainside. Funny enough, I can make these antlions jump into the water to their death. I see a ledge I can't get to without the help of something to ramp with. So I go down the ladder, and hey, these little shits are in my way. Move. I grab a wooden beam that should allow me to cross the ledge. I take it back and pulse it with the gravity gun to let me on top of the ledge. Immediately after, there's another gap I have to cross, and I'm not really sure if this one is sprintable. I turn around to grab that wooden beam, but I'm too low to grab it. I try multiple times to sprint across. I finally hit just the right angle I needed to shoot the gap. There's another tiny ledge here that looks like I can sprint across, but to no avail. I figured I would try to use my antlions to ramp on it, but this was too inconsistent. So I backtrack a bit and I find a box. With the help of this box, the obstacle was light work. I'm finally within the prison walls of Nova Prospect. After mowing down a bunch of enemies, I spot an elevated room I have to get into. I grab a chair from a nearby office, and with the help of the chair, I get into the room. Shortly after, I enlist the help of the chair again to get across this pipe. Now I'm in the actual prison itself. Combat here is really going to ramp up. I grab another chair to help get me into a broken down wall. I know I've been using chairs a lot here, but they're honestly very good for getting atop things, and they're one of the most common objects within the prison. After another giant antlion fight, I hustle to remove the garbage blocking my path forward. I spot a mine. Let's go ahead and shoot it to disable it. Oh damn, however will I get past this mine? Oh, that's how.
Weak.
I find myself outside in this trash compactor thing. Basically, I'm on a timer to get on top of a ledge, or I die. With the help of a table and the gravity gun, it was easy. I finally meet back up with Alex in order to help her break her father out of this prison. This section of the game is extremely combat intensive. By the way, how I've been getting past these turrets is simply by crouching behind an object and knocking them down. After a long turret defense section, Dr. Mossman exposes herself as a traitor. Here's a jump section where the water is electrified. I have to find a way across. First, I grab a wooden pallet to ramp onto some pipes. Then I sprint across a gap to get onto a platform. Next, I pulse a platform to get to another series of pipes. I use the platform to get onto higher ground. At this point, I realized I didn't need to do this part because there's a ladder on the platform that I jumped to earlier. Oh well, we don't like ladders on this channel anyway. I grabbed 2 barrels so I could use them to cross the electrified water. When I reach where I needed to be, I pulsed the barrel to get on top of the ledge. Just out of curiosity, I threw a grenade to see if I could blow this stuff up. Remember, cool guys don't look at explosions. After enduring through another turret defense section, we meet up with Dr. Mossman, who promptly kidnaps Alex's father. There's one final turret defense section here, but oh my, when it's done, these guys goon squad the entire lab. We're back in Kleiner's lab. With Dog's help, I can move forward. Dog then helps me get into an area which has had the most difficult obstacle of them all so far, a fence. Yes, this fence is the hardest thing I've had to endure in this challenge. For starters, there's absolutely no objects nearby I can use to help me get on top of it. I can't backtrack because this area is closed off from the previous one. It seemed like the fence was just high enough off the ground that any grenade I used didn't provide enough lift to get me on top. I tried again and again and again. I decided to survey my resources. I had 80 HP available to me, about 5 grenades, 3 grenade launcher rounds from the SMG, and an RPG round. Surely one of these is good enough to get me across, right? I tried repeatedly with the grenade launcher, but to no avail. I tried giving myself a running start here, thinking that the momentum could carry me. None of my attempts even came close. I tried crouching before launching the grenades, but this more often than not ended up killing me. Then I tried using the RPG, but either it was too close to me and killed me, or it was too far away and launched me at a pathetic angle. When I went back to trying again with grenades, I figured if I tossed a grenade then ran over it, I could use the momentum to carry me across, but this wasn't working either. At this point, I started thinking about giving up and reloading to an earlier point in the game, but I'm much too stubborn to stop here before I've exhausted every possible solution. There's some amount of rubble on the ground here. I thought if I hit a grenade at the right angle, the elevation from the rubble could be enough to launch myself across. But the angles were too awkward and it was too hard to find the right spot for the grenade, and even when I hit a seemingly good spot, it didn't provide enough launch to get me on top of the fence. Next, I tried picking up a live grenade with the gravity gun. I figured if I pulsed the grenade at the perfect time, I could hit the angle I needed, but with every failed attempt, I lost even more hope. I was just about ready to give up and reload a save, but I decided to stay a bit and see if I could figure out anything else. Hold on. Did you see that? Running into this metal bar launched me a little bit. This is interesting. Let's explore this further. I found that if I ran into the bar and crouched at just the right moment, I could fling Gordon's character model. From here I formulated a plan. If I could catch this metal bar with a sprinting crouch at just the right angle to fling myself near the fence, then I could use an explosive to launch myself the rest of the way. Let's see what happened. This was proving to be quite difficult as I needed several things to go correctly for me and my timing had to be immaculate. Then, I finally got an attempt where my dead body got carried over the fence. I was starting to think that this was actually possible. Look at that, that attempt was good enough to get me across, but the fall damage finished me off. Here's what happened in the next couple attempts. Finally, I had made it across. I was here for over 50 minutes and I wasn't sure if it was possible to make this jump, so I took a moment to breathe a sigh of relief and to celebrate. Let's go. The next part of the game was a lot of ducking in and out of buildings and fighting guards. I find myself in a tunnel with toxic water. I can navigate this place by using a wooden spool and a crate. Next up, I get to a sewer where I need to get on top of some pipes. Then with the help of a wooden box, I manage to make it up on some pipes. I grab a metal toolbox and I use it to get on a ledge. This part has multiple places to climb, so I should keep the toolbox with me. I use the toolbox again to get on some pipes. Some asshole blows up the bridge, so I use the toolbox to climb back up. After going up a long way with an elevator, I realize there's no objects here to use, but luckily I'm just within range of grabbing the toolbox. With the toolbox, I can make my way onto this railing. I drop down to a floor below and meet up with some guy. That's going to conclude this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'm hoping next time I see you, it will be the finale of this series.